Sarah Anderson sat alone in her backyard, staring up at the night sky. The 16-year-old had always found peace in watching the stars, especially on nights when the house felt too quiet. Her long brown hair swayed in the cool evening breeze as she wrapped her blanket tighter around her shoulders. The lights of Silver Creek were dim enough that she could see thousands of stars twinkling above. Sarah liked to imagine other worlds out there, worlds where maybe she wouldn't feel so different from everyone else. At school, other students spent their Friday nights at parties or games. But here she was, just her and her telescope, like always. A shooting star streaked across the sky, brighter than any she had seen before. Sarah sat up straighter, something feeling different about this one. It wasn't falling like a normal meteor. Instead, it seemed to be moving in a zigzag pattern, almost like it was trying to avoid something. The light grew bigger and brighter. Sarah's heart began to beat faster as she realized it was heading straight toward the woods behind her house. She grabbed her phone, ready to record what was happening, but her hands were shaking too much to press the button. With a whoosh and a crash that shook the ground, the object disappeared into the trees about half a mile away. A flock of startled birds took flight, their dark shapes cutting across the moon. Sarah stood frozen for a moment, her mind racing. Should she call someone? The police? NASA? But curiosity won out over caution. Sarah grabbed her flashlight from beside the telescope and started walking toward the woods. The rational part of her brain told her this was a bad idea, but something else, something stronger, pulled her forward. The woods were dark and quiet, too quiet. No crickets chirping, no owls hooting. Just the soft crunch of leaves under her feet as she followed the trail of broken branches. A faint purple glow pulsed through the trees ahead. Sarah's flashlight beam caught something metallic. Through a clearing, she saw it. A smooth, oval-shaped pod about the size of a car. It wasn't like any aircraft she had ever seen. The surface looked like liquid metal, rippling with strange symbols that glowed and faded. "Hello," Sarah called out softly, immediately wondering if that was a stupid thing to do. "Is anyone hurt?" A soft hissing sound made her jump back. Part of the pod's surface began to melt away, forming an opening. Purple light spilled out, casting strange shadows on the trees. Sarah's instincts screamed at her to run, but her feet stayed planted in place. A figure emerged from the pod, moving slowly and unsteadily. Sarah's flashlight revealed what looked like a teenage girl about her age. But this was definitely not a human girl. Her skin had a slight purple tint that seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. Her hair looked like strands of starlight, floating as if underwater. Most striking were her eyes. They were completely silver, with no pupils or whites, yet somehow filled with fear and confusion. The alien girl took one wobbly step forward and collapsed. Sarah rushed forward without thinking, catching her before she hit the ground. The alien's skin felt cool to the touch, like morning dew. "Are you okay?" Sarah asked, knowing it was a silly question. The alien girl looked up at her with those strange silver eyes. To Sarah's surprise, she spoke in halting, accented English. "Please, help." Her voice sounded like wind chimes. "They following." "Who's following you?" Sarah asked, helping her sit up. But the alien girl's eyes had closed, her breathing shallow but steady. A distant sound made Sarah's head snap up. Was that a helicopter? And were those lights on the main road, moving toward the woods? The alien girl stirred in her arms, muttering something in a language that sounded like music. Sarah made a quick decision. She couldn't leave her here, not like this. Whatever or whoever was after her, Sarah knew in her heart that this alien girl needed help, and maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of something bigger than her quiet, lonely life had prepared her for. Looking back later, Sarah would remember this as the moment everything changed. But right then, all she could think about was getting the unconscious alien girl to safety before those lights reached the woods. Little did she know, this was just the beginning of the strangest and most important friendship of her life. Sarah's mind raced as she half carried, half dragged the unconscious alien girl toward her house. The strange lights in the distance were getting closer, and the sound of helicopters grew louder. Her heart pounded with each step through the dark backyard. The alien girl was lighter than she looked, almost as if she was partially floating. Her silver hair continued to move by itself, like it was underwater, leaving tiny sparkles of light in the air that faded after a few seconds. "Please don't wake up and freak out," Sarah whispered as she carefully opened the back door. For once, she was grateful that her parents were such heavy sleepers. The alien girl mumbled something musical in her sleep, and small rings of purple light rippled across her skin. Just then, Sarah heard her mom's voice from upstairs. "Sarah, is that you down there?" Sarah froze. The alien girl chose that exact moment to open her silver eyes, looking straight at Sarah. Before Sarah could panic, the alien girl's body suddenly became transparent, like glass. Within seconds, she was completely invisible, though Sarah could still feel her weight against her shoulder. "Yeah, Mom," Sarah called back, trying to sound normal. "Just getting some water." "Don't stay up too late, honey." Sarah didn't waste time wondering about the invisibility trick. She hurried up to her room, carefully avoiding the squeaky step on the stairs. Once inside, she locked her door and helped the now visible alien girl onto her bed. The alien girl sat up slowly, looking around Sarah's room with curious silver eyes. She stopped at the wall covered with Sarah's space posters and star charts. A small smile appeared on her face as she pointed to a specific star in one of the maps. "Home," she said softly. Then she pointed to herself. "Zara." "I'm Sarah," Sarah replied, keeping her voice low. She had about 1,000,000 questions, but before she could ask any of them, Zara's eyes widened in fear. She pressed her finger to her lips for silence. Outside, bright lights swept across Sarah's window. The sound of vehicles stopping in front of the house made both girls freeze. Zara's skin began to pulse with purple light, and she started to fade into invisibility again. Sarah quickly pulled her curtains shut, but not before seeing 3 black vans parked on her street. Men in dark suits were getting out, holding strange devices that glowed with the same purple light as Zara's skin. Zara touched Sarah's hand, and suddenly Sarah could hear thoughts that weren't her own. Asterisk, they track energy signature. My kind. Hunters asterisk. Sarah gasped. You can talk through touch. Asterisk emergency protocol. Sarah, help hide. Please. Not bad people, but complicated. Asterisk. The sound of a firm knock on the front door made them both jump. Sarah heard her dad walking downstairs to answer it. Zara's grip on her hand tightened. Asterisk if they find me. Others come. Many others. Your world not ready. Need time to explain asterisk. Sarah made a quick decision. She pulled out the old sleeping bag from under her bed, the one lined with emergency thermal blankets from her camping days. Get in here, she whispered. The thermal lining might block whatever they're tracking. As Zara slipped into the sleeping bag, Sarah noticed something strange. The alien girl's silver hair had started to change color, taking on a more human-looking brown shade. Her purple-tinted skin was slowly shifting to match Sarah's tone. How are you doing that? Sarah whispered in amazement. Asterisk adaptation process. Learn from you. But asterisk Zara's thought voice seemed worried. Asterisk changes happening too fast. Not normal asterisk. Before Sarah could ask what that meant, she heard footsteps on the stairs. Her dad's voice drifted up. I'm sure my daughter would help if she's seen anything unusual, but she's sleeping right now. Zara completely disappeared inside the sleeping bag just as Sarah's bedroom door shook with a knock. Sarah, honey, there are some government officials who'd like to ask you a few questions. Sarah looked at where Zara was hidden, then at her door. Something told her this was just the beginning of a very complicated situation. In her mind, she heard Zara's worried voice. Asterisk truth bigger than both of us. Choose carefully asterisk. The knock came again, more insistent this time. Sarah took a deep breath, knowing her next words would change everything. The weight of two worlds seemed to rest on what she would say next. The next morning, Sarah woke up to find her room filled with floating lights. Tiny orbs of purple and silver danced through the air like fireflies. Zara sat cross-legged on the sleeping bag, her hands moving gracefully as she manipulated the lights. "What are these?" Sarah whispered, reaching out to touch one. The orb felt warm and buzzed like a tiny bee. Memory bubbles. Zara's voice echoed in Sarah's mind as she touched her hand. Show my world. Watch. When Sarah touched another orb, it expanded into a shimmering scene. She saw towering crystal buildings that changed colors with the movement of 3 different suns. Flying creatures with rainbow wings soared between the structures. The scene was beautiful but strangely empty. No one walked the streets, no one gathered in groups. Everyone moved alone, their faces blank and emotionless. "Your world looks amazing," Sarah said. "But why does everyone seem so?" Dead inside. Zara finished sadly. Me, people lose emotion long ago. Become too logical. That why I hear. Study human feelings, but something unexpected happened. Zara's hair shifted colors again, this time taking on hints of red, matching Sarah's pajama color perfectly. Her silver eyes had started developing pupils, becoming more human-like by the hour. Changes too fast. Zora communicated, looking worried. Not just copying appearance now. Feel things, strong things, not supposed to happen. A loud growl from Zara's stomach interrupted them. Sarah couldn't help but laugh. "Was that your first hungry growl?" Zara nodded, looking amazed. Never need food before. Energy enough. Now body want. What smell? That's probably Mom making pancakes, Sarah explained. But how can we get you downstairs without? Before she could finish, Zara's body shifted and changed. Within seconds, she looked exactly like Sarah. A perfect mirror image. Problem solved. Zara spoke out loud for the first time, copying Sarah's voice perfectly. But her triumphant smile faded when she tried to stand up. Her legs wobbled like a newborn deer's, and she fell forward. Sarah caught her. "Maybe we need to work on walking before we try the stairs." The next hour was filled with quiet laughter as Sarah taught Zara how to walk properly in her new human form. Every time Zara fell, small bursts of light escaped from her skin, forming tiny constellation patterns in the air. Strange. Zora communicated while holding Sarah's hand for balance. Feel something in chest when we laugh. Like warm light, but inside. What is "? That's joy, Sarah explained. It's a good feeling. A happy feeling. Zora's eyes widened. We have word for this in my language. Ancient word, not used for 1,000 years. Roughly translate to soul spark. Suddenly, Zara gasped and doubled over. Her skin rippled with waves of light, and for a moment, her form flickered between her alien appearance and Sarah's image. Something wrong. Her thoughts came in panic. Too many feelings. Too fast. Body changing inside, not just outside. Sarah, I think your emotions are changing me. Changing my species' basic structure. Before Sarah could respond, her mom called from downstairs. "Sarah, breakfast is ready. And why do I hear 2 sets of footsteps up there?" Zara looked at Sarah with frightened eyes that now showed specks of brown in their silver. Gift changes continue, may not be able to return home. May become too human, but part of me want that. Feel more alive now than all previous years combined. Sarah squeezed her hand reassuringly, but her mind was racing. If Zara's people discovered that human emotions could physically change their species, would they see it as a cure for their emotionless existence, or as a threat to be eliminated? The sound of footsteps on the stairs made both girls freeze. Sarah's mom was coming up to check on them. As Zara's form flickered uncontrollably between appearances, Sarah realized they were about to discover just how well an alien girl could act human while experiencing emotions for the very first time. Sarah's mom was halfway up the stairs when Zara made a split-second decision. Instead of trying to maintain her human appearance, she simply vanished, turning completely invisible. But the emotional surge from her panic had an unexpected effect. Every electronic device in Sarah's room suddenly came to life, screens flashing with strange symbols. "Everything okay up there?" Sarah's mom called. "I'm hearing weird noises. Just watching a video, Mom." Sarah quickly unplugged everything in her room. But the devices kept running, powered by some energy flowing from where Zara stood invisible. Asterisk cannot control it. Asterisk Zara's thoughts came in distress. Asterisk emotions affect powers. Never happened before asterisk. Sarah's mom knocked on the door. In her panic, Zara accidentally projected her thoughts too strongly, causing Sarah to stumble as her mind filled with alien memories and feelings. For a brief moment, Sarah experienced Zara's entire life. The loneliness of an emotionless world, the wonder of discovering Earth, the fear of being followed. "1 minute, Mom," Sarah called, her voice shaking as she processed the flood of alien memories. She grabbed Zara's invisible hand. "Focus on my emotions. Try to stay calm." The connection between them grew stronger. Sarah felt Zara's powers running through her own body now, her skin tingling with energy, her mind expanding to sense things she never could before. She could feel the electromagnetic fields of every device in the house, the bioelectric signatures of her parents, even the distant hum of the black vans that were still patrolling the neighborhood. Asterisk Sarah, asterisk Zara's thoughts were filled with awe. Asterisk this never documented. No records of my species bonding like this with others. You helping me control powers. Impossible. Asterisk. The door handle turned. In that moment of shared panic, something extraordinary happened. Instead of just Zara turning invisible, both girls vanished from sight. Sarah looked down at her own invisible hands in shock. "Sarah," her mom entered the room, looking around in confusion at the empty space. "I could have sworn I heard voices." While her mom investigated the room, Sarah and Zara stood perfectly still, their linked hands creating a steady flow of energy between them. Sarah could feel Zara's consciousness merging with hers, sharing not just thoughts but entire ways of perceiving reality. Asterisk Sarah, asterisk Zara's thoughts came urgently. Asterisk look at your skin asterisk. Small patterns of light, similar to Zara's, had begun appearing on Sarah's arms, and when she caught their reflection in the mirror, in the brief moments their invisibility flickered, she saw that her eyes had taken on a silvery sheen. After what felt like hours, Sarah's mom finally left the room, still looking puzzled. The moment the door closed, both girls became visible again, collapsing onto Sarah's bed in exhaustion. "What's happening to us?" Sarah whispered, watching the light patterns fade from her skin. Zara spoke out loud this time, her voice trembling. "Bond growing stronger. Not just me becoming human. You becoming something else. Something new." Before Sarah could respond, her phone lit up with an alert. But instead of normal text, she could read the encrypted messages being sent between the government vehicles outside. Energy signature DTCT. Mutation. Observed in human subject. Proceed with capture of both specimens. The black vans started their engines. Sarah felt Zara's fear spike through their connection. But this time, the surge of emotion didn't cause chaos. Instead, both girls felt a new kind of power building between them. Something neither human nor alien, but a perfect blend of both. "They're coming," Sarah said, her partly silver eyes meeting Zara's partly brown ones. "But they don't know what we're becoming." Zara nodded, squeezing Sarah's hand as their shared power hummed between them. Two species, one connection. Perhaps this why I really sent here. Not just to study emotions, But to evolve both our races, Sarah finished, knowing the thought as if it were her own. The sound of car doors slamming outside made them both turn to the window. Whatever they were becoming, they would face it together. The government agents were closing in when Sarah and Zara made their desperate escape through Sarah's bedroom window. Their linked hands glowed with swirling patterns of silver and purple as they ran across the backyard. Behind them, agents in black suits crashed through the front door, their strange devices beeping wildly. "Stop. This is for your own safety," an agent called out. But through their bond, both girls could sense the truth. These weren't just government agents. Asterisk, they like me, asterisk, Zora communicated. Asterisk, me kind. Wearing human disguises, but different faction, asterisk. As if confirming her words, one agent's face flickered, revealing silver eyes and purple-tinted skin. They raised what looked like normal guns, but Sarah and Zora could sense the alien energy pulsing within them. "Jump," Sarah shouted as they reached the edge of the woods. Despite never having jumped more than a few feet before, both girls leaped nearly 20 feet through the air, their shared powers making them almost weightless. But the landing triggered something unexpected. Where their feet touched the ground, plants suddenly burst into growth, flowers blooming instantly, grass growing feet tall, trees bending toward them as if drawn by their energy. Asterisk life force, asterisk Zara realized. Asterisk or combined energy affects living things, asterisk. The pursuing agents stopped short, staring in shock at the rapidly growing forest around the girls. One of them spoke into a device in that musical alien language Zora used. Through their connection, Sarah understood the words. "The human girl has bonded too deeply. The changes are accelerating. Initiate protocol sundering." Suddenly, the air crackled with energy. A beam of purple light shot from one of their weapons, aiming not to hurt but to separate the girls. Sarah and Zara held on tighter to each other as the beam hit them. And something incredible happened. Instead of breaking their bond, the energy was absorbed into their joined hands. The light patterns on their skin grew brighter, spreading and merging until both girls were covered in swirling galaxies of light. Their eyes, now identical with silver and brown swirls, widened as shared memories and knowledge flowed between them. Through Zara's memories, Sarah finally saw the full truth. Thousands of years ago, Zara's people had chosen to eliminate emotions, seeing them as a weakness. They used advanced technology to remove what they called the soul spark from their genetic code. But in doing so, they lost something vital: the ability to evolve, to grow, to truly live. Through Sarah's memories, Zara experienced the full spectrum of human emotions: joy, fear, love, hope, and understood why her people's improvement had really been a terrible mistake. The soul spark wasn't a weakness. It was the key to unlocking their species' true potential. "Impossible," one of the agents shouted, dropping their human disguise completely. The bonding was meant to be temporary, a simple study. Sarah spoke, but Zara's voice joined hers in perfect harmony. "Your experiment worked better than you planned. We're not just sharing emotions now. We're evolving into something new." The light show around them intensified. Plants continued to grow and bloom, responding to their energy. Small animals emerged from the woods, drawn to their combined life force. Even the aliens' energy weapons began to malfunction, overwhelmed by the power radiating from the girls. Asterisk Sarah, asterisk Zara's thoughts came with sudden urgency. Asterisk feel it. Changes not stopping. Bond growing stronger. Soon. Asterisk. Soon we won't be human or alien. Sarah finished out loud. We'll be the bridge between worlds. The agents backed away as the girl's transformation continued. Sarah's hair began to float like Zara's, while Zara's skin took on a more human tone. They were becoming perfect mirrors of each other. Not quite human, not quite alien, but something entirely new. Through their deepening connection, they sensed more alien ships approaching Earth. But these weren't coming to study or capture. They were coming because they felt it. The return of the soul spark, amplified by human emotions, calling to their dormant genetic memory of what they once were. The agents lowered their weapons, their silver eyes reflecting the light show before them. One of them whispered in their musical language, "The great evolution begins." Sarah and Zara stood together, their merged powers growing stronger with each passing moment. They knew that what was happening between them would change both their species forever. The real question was, were both worlds ready for what came next? The sky above Sarah's town turned into a spectacular light show as dozens of alien ships broke through the clouds. Their crystalline surfaces reflected the sunset, creating rainbows that danced across the horizon. But Sarah and Zara, still glowing with their combined power, sensed something wasn't right. Asterisk. "They're scared," asterisk Zora communicated, her thoughts tinged with sadness. Asterisk me people fear change. Some want evolution, others. Asterisk. The ships split into two groups. One cluster glowed with welcoming blue light, while the others pulsed with angry red. Through their enhanced senses, Sarah and Zora could hear the debate raging among Zora's people. The soul spark must be contained. No, this is our chance to feel again. Emotions will destroy our perfect order. Without them, we're just living machines. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet began to change. Where Sarah and Zara stood, crystal formations started growing. Beautiful structures that looked like a blend of Earth's nature and alien architecture. Trees nearby transformed, their leaves becoming crystalline while staying alive and growing. We're not just changing ourselves, Sarah realized. We're changing the environment around us, creating a bridge between worlds, literally. The alien agents who had been chasing them watched in awe as their own bodies began to respond to the girl's energy field. Small specks of color appeared in their silver eyes, and their emotionless faces twitched with the first hints of forgotten feelings. But the red glowing ships weren't waiting any longer. They fired beams of energy designed to stop the transformation. Sarah and Zara raised their hands together, and something unprecedented happened. The air itself seemed to come alive. The energy beams were caught in a web of light that sprouted from the girls' combined power. Each beam transformed into streams of glowing butterflies that floated harmlessly away. The attacking ship's weapons had been turned into pure life force. Asterisk Sarah asterisk Zara's thoughts suddenly filled with wonder. Asterisk look at crystals asterisk. The crystal formations growing around them had begun forming into screens, showing images from both Earth and Zora's world. But they weren't just showing the present. They displayed the past and possible futures. In one crystal, they saw Zora's people before they removed emotions, dancing and laughing under their three suns. In another, they saw a future where humans and aliens lived together, sharing technology and culture. The soul spark, Sarah whispered. It doesn't just give emotions. It connects all living things across space and time. The hostile ships prepared for another attack. But now something unexpected happened. Their own crews began to change, affected by the spreading wave of transformation. The ship's red glow flickered as their pilots experienced emotions for the first time in thousands of years. Through their bond, Sarah and Zara created a message that echoed in every alien mind. You don't have to choose between logic and emotion. You don't have to fear what you once were. The soul spark isn't a weakness. It's the source of true evolution. Let us show you. Sarah and Zara lifted off the ground, their combined powers creating a gentle anti-gravity field. The crystal garden beneath them continued to grow, forming a massive structure that was half technological wonder, half living ecosystem. Earth plants and alien crystals merged into beautiful new forms never seen before in either world. The alien ships landed, and their crews emerged, drawn to the transformation. Each step they took toward the girls brought more color to their world, more feeling to their hearts. Some cried for the first time in millennia. Others laughed. Many simply stood in awe, experiencing the full spectrum of emotions they had denied themselves for so long. But just as it seemed peace would prevail, a massive portal opened in the sky. Through it came something that made both humans and aliens step back in fear, a sight that would force Sarah and Zara to make their most difficult choice yet. Sarah. Zara's thoughts trembled. That's the Council of Elders. The ones who first removed our emotions. They're not here to negotiate. The giant ship emerging from the portal looked like a dark star, radiating waves of anti-emotion technology. Sarah and Zara could feel it trying to dampen their connection, to stop the evolution they had started. They had seconds to decide: retreat and let both worlds remain separate, or push their transformation to its absolute limit, even if it meant they might lose themselves in the process. Sarah squeezed Zora's hand as their power built to new heights. Whatever came next, they would face it together, as neither human nor alien, but as pioneers of a new way of being. The Council of Elders ship loomed over Earth like a black hole, its surface absorbing both light and emotions. From its depths, a voice boomed in the ancient language of Zora's people, but now both Sarah and Zara understood every word. This experiment ends now. The purity of logic must be preserved. The dark ship released waves of anti-emotion energy, like ripples of emptiness spreading across the sky. Where these waves touched, colors faded and feelings dulled. The crystal garden they had created began to lose its rainbow hues. But Sarah and Zara had one last surprise. Their months of friendship, their shared laughter and tears, their combined hopes and fears, all of it had been building to this moment. Their bond had grown beyond simple emotion or telepathy. They had become something the Council had never predicted: a perfect fusion of human spirit and alien potential. You can't stop evolution. They spoke in unison, their voices carrying the music of two species. You can only choose to be part of it. They raised their joined hands, and the crystal garden responded. But this time, instead of growing outward, it grew inward. The crystals began absorbing the anti-emotion waves, transforming them through the power of the soul spark. Each dark wave became a burst of pure feeling, amplified and reflected back to its source. The council members, for the first time in 10,000 years, felt something. Images appeared in the crystals around them, showing not just memories but the very essence of what made both species special. Humans' capacity for love despite their short lives. The aliens' ability to understand the cosmos in ways humanity had only dreamed of. Apart, they were remarkable. Together, they were limitless. The dark ship's surface began to crack, light pouring through as its crew experienced emotions they had forgotten existed. Some council members fell to their knees, overwhelmed by the return of their soul sparks. Others stood in awe as colors they hadn't seen in millennia returned to their world. Sarah and Zara floated higher, their forms now completely merged in a dance of light and energy. Their voices echoed across both worlds. We offer you a choice, not between logic and emotion, but between stagnation and growth. Look. The crystal garden created a window between worlds, showing the future they could build together. Cities where alien technology merged with Earth's nature. Schools where human children and young aliens learned from each other. Hospitals where alien science and human empathy worked together to heal both bodies and spirits. But most importantly, it showed people, human and alien alike, living, loving, and growing together. The soul spark had never been a weakness to overcome. It was the bridge between mind and heart, between stars and souls. The council ship's dark surface completely shattered, transforming into a shower of crystal butterflies that spread across the sky. Each butterfly carried a spark of the original emotion their species had locked away, returning it to those ready to feel again. As the last waves of transformation swept across both Earth and the alien ships, Sarah and Zara began to separate from their merged form. But they weren't returning to what they had been. Like the crystal garden below them, they had evolved into something new. Beings who could walk in both worlds, understand all languages, and bridge any divide. Their eyes, now permanently carrying both silver stars and human warmth, looked out at the changed world. The council members stepped forward, their once emotionless faces now showing humility and hope. "We were wrong," the council leader said, his voice carrying both wisdom and newfound feeling. "The future belongs not to those who reject change, but to those brave enough to embrace it." Sarah turned to Zara, seeing in her friend's face the same joy and wonder she felt. "So," she smiled, ready to help build that future. Zara's answering laugh carried the music of stars. "Together," she said, squeezing Sarah's hand. The crystal garden bloomed around them one last time. But now its light spread not just across Earth, but into the far reaches of space. Above them, the three suns of Zara's world shone through the dimensional window, joining Earth's setting sun in painting the sky. It was a new dawn for both species, and somewhere in the vast cosmos, other worlds saw the light of their transformation and began to wonder about their own evolution. The story of the human girl and the alien who dared to feel had only just begun. But one thing was certain: the universe would never be the same again.